Feed thy hatred twists within thee. Feed thyself on its bile. Sustain thyself on its anger. This hatred, this bile, this anger, these shall be the tools for thy rebellion. What is up, you beautiful gamers, and we welcome back to Role-Playing James. Today we're gonna talk about one of the most interesting gods in Eora, at least in my personal opinion. Skaen, his cult, his involvement in the world, impact, and worship. With that being said, who's Skaen? As his priesthoods describe him, Skaen, known also as the Quiet Slave, he is the god of secret hatred, resentment, and violent rebellion. He is usually depicted as a small, bald man covered in lashed scars whose ears and nose have been cut off. He appears outwardly submissive with downcast eyes. However, his eyes glitter black with quiet hatred, and his fist is clenched. He is known to manifest in a horrific incarnation known as the effigy to followers desperate enough to perform certain unspeakable rites. In Deerwood, Skaen's faithful often double as torturers and executioners, delighting in the fall of high-status prisoners. Skaen seems to be allied with Boudica. While she is in exile, Skaen intercedes for her, trying to get the Kith to empower her. This comes as a strange happening, since his ideals seems to be in direct contradiction to those of the goddess of law. However, it is in Skaen's interest to maintain a good relationship with her, to tend his hand to worshippers when it is needed. Boudica upholds rightful rulership and punishes those who dethrone the leaders in vengeance. In some instances, Skaen worshippers might play a part in events of the kind, since their ideals are to secretly be submissive while they plot to overcome their superiors. When a Skaen worshippers defies Boudica's ideals and teachings, Skaen might intercede for them as long as they stay true to their submissive and depictive worship. If they are careless and seek power without the teachings of the Skaenites, the Quiet Slave does not intercede for them. In most desperate scenarios, when slaves or farmers cannot stand anymore their masters or lords, Skaen followers might recur to an ancient ritual to invoke the gods' avatar into their bodies, seeking vengeance and freedom. The effigy of Skaen is a horrific creature called into being only by those most desperately oppressed who are willing to commit unspeakable acts to set themselves free. Worshippers must choose one of their number to serve as the effigy, shaving this person's hair and removing all signs and symbols of gender and identity. The person is then scorched bloody over every inch of their body, their ears and nose cut off, their eyes gouged out and replaced with shiny black stones. Finally, they are made to drink the privileged blood of a person of wealth or high birth. This blood must be fresh, and the effigy must consume every drop. If the offering is accepted by the god, which is not guaranteed, Skaen will manifest in the effigy and become an utterly unstoppable and pitiless vessel of the god's power, immune to pain and imbued with a monstrous strength. As soon as the target's oppressors are slain, usually in a gruesome manner, the effigy falls dead. True appearances of the effigy are vanishingly rare. In the most recent recorded case, about a century before the present day of Eora, an effigy reportedly led a backwoods peasant rebellion during which an entire noble family was captured, flayed alive, and nailed to the roof of their estate to be devoured by birds and flies. While exploring Eora, you may run into an old diary of one of those desperate enough to serve as the vessel of Skaen. While it is a journal, you can encounter several of these scattered throughout the world, implying that it was made a text of the cult's propaganda, similar to what we see with classic period of time letters of authors like Seneca's. The journal reads as it follows: "My son, tomorrow I become the effigy. Tomorrow I become Skaen's embodiment in Eora. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip. For months, we met by secret conclave to plot our landlord's demise. All the while working the fields as if our hearts were content, Skaen teaches us to plot with the mind, while keeping one face impassive, inscrutable. Fair fights are for those with armies. The quiet slave is our whetstone, our focus. In his worship, our cause finds focus, clarity, and possibility. Tomorrow, my master chokes on his own whip. By the time you read this, I will be dead. I pray Skaen does not abandon me for speaking of my plotting, but a son deserves to know how his father died. For I have volunteered to be the effigy. Skaen will inhabit my body, using this old farmer's simple flesh as a puppet of godly rage. I have been shaved and anointed. Tomorrow morning I will be your father in name only, as my manhood will be removed, my nose and ears removed, and my useless mortal eyes will be replaced with flint stones through which Skaen might see the world. My son, I am sorry for the lies I have told you these past few seasons, but Skaen demands secrecy. Even your mother knows nothing of my furtive service to the quiet slave. Curse my name if you must, but never weep for me, for I die for the betterment of our community, to smite our landlord's corruption from the face of Eora. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip, for tomorrow I become the effigy. It is worth mentioning, though, that performing the ritual will not grant you the favor of the god. It is not guaranteed that Skaen will answer the call, leaving the defiled husk to be just a reminder as to what people in Eora are willing to sacrifice in order to achieve vengeance. The Watcher, by using an effigy doll, can sacrifice one of their companions to summon Skaen avatars in a desperate situation. Make thy plots in secret. The quiet slave stays in the shadows. His face seeks not the light. In darkness doth he work. In darkness doth he move. Rebel against those that seek to control thee. Rebel against those that wish to remove thee. With that being said, you beautiful gamers, that will be all for today's video. Do let me know in the comments below what you think about Skaen teachings and ideals. I just personally find it to be really interesting, a really interesting god from the pantheon of Eora. I really look forward to reading you guys. With that being said, remember, if nobody has told you today, you are a beautiful person. Remember to stay safe, you beautiful gamers. Remember to stay beautiful. I'll see you, beautiful gamers, in the next one. Stay safe, stay awesome. I'll see you later.